Hello children, let's begin with some new topics of electrostatics class 12th, and the name of the topics are Coulomb's law from Gauss law and applications of Gauss law. The objectives related with these topics are derive Coulomb's law from Gauss law and discuss some applications of Gauss law. Children, let's derive Coulomb's law from Gauss law. Let us consider a positive charge being placed at the center of a sphere. Let there be a Gaussian surface, which you can see children as a shaded one. Here the electric field intensity due to positive charge is always outward, as we can see here, and the surface has its direction in the same direction as that of electric field. Now children, from Gauss law, phi e is equal to closed integral of E dot ds, which is equal to q over epsilon naught. Students, as the direction of the surface and that of the electric field are in the same direction, therefore the angle between both of them is 0. So on expanding E dot ds, we will get the result closed integral E dot ds is equal to closed integral E ds cos of 0, which is equal to q over epsilon naught. Now children, as the electric field is constant for a positive charge, therefore we shall take it outside the integration sign. Now we are left with ds integral, and as you all know, the surface area of a sphere is given by 4 pi r square. On inserting the value of integral ds, we will get E into 4 pi r square is equal to q over epsilon naught. Keeping E on the left side, we'll get the result q over 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Now children, if we place another charge q naught in the electric field, then it will exert a force, and this force will have the value F equal to q naught into E. On inserting the value of E in the equation F equal to q naught E, the result comes out to be 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught q naught into q over r square. And this is what Coulomb's law states. I hope children you have understood this derivation. So let's come to the applications of Gauss law. Children, first application of Gauss law is, this law is being used to find the electric field intensity due to a hollow conducting sphere, that is spherical shell. Now let us start with the derivation. Children, let us consider a spherical hollow shell and let plus q charge be placed at the center of the shell. The surface charge density of the spherical shell is given by sigma, and its formula is sigma equal to q over 4 pi r square. Children, here the surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r square, that is why we have taken it here. The radius of this sphere is capital R. So children, on rearranging, we shall get q equal to sigma into 4 pi capital R square. Now children, let us consider a Gaussian surface around the spherical shell, and since the surface is a spherical surface, so the Gaussian surface will also be spherical in shape. The radius of this imaginary Gaussian surface is small r. Now children, the total electric flux through the Gaussian surface is given by phi equal to E dot ds, which is equal to E into 4 pi r square. Here r is taken as small because we are considering the Gaussian surface. Net charge enclosed by the surface is given by q, children. So according to the Gauss theorem, E into 4 pi r square is equal to q over epsilon naught. On rearranging, we shall get E equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught q over r square. So children, in this way we have used Gauss theorem and we have got the answer for electric field intensity due to a hollow conducting sphere. Children, since electric field is a vector quantity, so it has some directions. So the direction of electric field is outward and is given by r cap. Children, the electric field in vector form ultimately comes out to be E vector equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught q over r square into r cap. Students, this is the first application of Gauss law. I hope you have understood. Let us start with the next application. Electric field intensity due to a line charge at point P can be calculated using Gauss theorem. So first children, let us understand the diagram. Here we have L as a line charge where all the positive charges are distributed around it. We are considering here a Gaussian surface around a line charge. And children, as you already know, for a line charge distribution, the Gaussian surface is always a cylindrical one. So here we have drawn a Gaussian surface with r as radius and L as length. Now children, electric field due to the curved surface of cylinder is somewhat different from the two faces of cylinder. Now children, as you can see in the picture, the direction of the area vector on the two faces is at 90° with the electric field. Moreover, this electric field and the direction of the area vector for a curved surface is in the same direction. So children, the effect of the two faces on the electric field and electric flux will be 0 as cos 90 is equal to 0 according to the formula EDS cos 90. Once again, let us repeat. The electric field intensity at P is E and the electric flux at the two end faces of the cylinder are given by E dot ds, which is equal to EDS cos of 90. Here children, the direction of electric field and the area vector is 90°. As cos 90 is 0, so the contribution of electric flux towards the two faces is 0. Now, total electric flux through the Gaussian surface due to the curved surface of cylinder is given by phi equal to closed integral of E dot ds. As children, you already know the curved surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi rl, so we will insert its value here. Children, since we have taken a line charge, so we will take linear charge density concept. So lambda is equal to Q over L or Q is equal to lambda into L. Children, we will insert the value of Q in the above equation and we'll get the answer E is equal to 1 over 2 pi epsilon naught Q over RL. On further putting the value of Q, E becomes equal to 1 over 2 pi epsilon naught lambda L over R. So children, in this way we have calculated the electric field intensity due to a line charge at a certain point. So children, I hope you have understood the topics which we have discussed today. Thank you children.